All right. Good evening, everyone. Jeff the Prosperis here from Blessings on My Journey. And tonight I'm joined by the very famous Kerry Mann from Homestead How and my good friend, Anthony Hayduk, all the way from Port Angeles, Washington. Correct, Anthony?
Yep.
Awesome. So today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. And I believe this is episode number 6. Episode number 6 of my Tuesday Night Lives, and I want to thank both you guys for being part of it. Tonight's episode is about my YouTube friends while I have stage 4 cancer. Also, right now, the people that are joining in, I want to, in the chat, just for fun, tell us where you're from. I've seen some experts like Kerry and Jen, when they go live, they ask the audience where they're from, and we can see where everybody's from. So don't don't be shy. Put it in the chat where you're from. I'm from Brantford, Ontario. Kerry Mann, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Montello, Wisconsin, central Wisconsin.
And are you at the famous Montello Theater right now?
I am, the world famous Montello Theater. Yeah, I'm here now.
That's awesome.
We're getting ready. We're open for summer, so we're here more often now.
Nice. That's awesome. And it's hello to Australia, Chicago, I see over there, San Diego. My son Peter's moderating the chat, so he's doing a good job popping it up there. I got to get better at this, Kerry, because you're very good at it. I got to learn how to not announce that I'm sharing something and get better at it. But this is my, you guys can see that, Kerry and Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my night tonight so far. I had a really busy day. I had osteopath this morning. Then I went, which was in Hamilton. It's about 30 minutes from my hometown. Then I went to hyperbaric. I had my son Peter join me today for both my appointments, so it was awesome. Then tonight I had my Tuesday night meetups. This was inspired by you, Kerry, to do these meetups. But I've been doing them bi-weekly, every Tuesday, every other week. And tonight we were at the stairs. So there's the group. And then we did the stairs afterwards. We ate some meat and then we chatted. There's a new person there, Jessica. My cursor's on it. I'm circling around her. If she's listening tonight, I want to say welcome. And there's a whole bunch of people there. This woman right here, Kathy, if you're listening, shout out to you, Kathy. She's got a YouTube channel called Kingdom Way. Is that the Kingdom Way? I actually have her card right here. And she's actually an insulin coach. And she works for Ben Bickman, Professor Ben Bickman, who is the insulin guru. He's the one that my best friend Dwight listens to almost every single day. So Kathy, I was really impressed by Kathy and what she's doing to help others, especially when it comes to insulin. There's Scott, there's Anna, there's Janice, there's my wife Martha, Dante, Peter, Pat's over here, and then we climb the stairs. Normally we have a bigger number, not too many people. Some people couldn't make it out tonight. Next week, we're going to do it in my hometown. We're actually not going to wait 2 weeks. We're going to do it in my hometown in Brantford. And it's on my fasting day because next Wednesday I have chemo. And we're going to do it on the Tuesday before chemo. And it's my fasting day. So we're just going to do a water-only nature hike on the trails in Brantford. Anyways, I'm going to come back to you guys. Stop sharing my screen. And how was your day today, Kerry?
Today, wonderful. Yeah, got to spend some time with the family. I cooked up a huge tomahawk ribeye that I got on sale. I'm doing a video on it, of course, but
I saw that video.
Yeah. So I was at Walmart. Normally, I try to get everything I can from my neighbor. People give me a hard time sometimes. He's been sold out. I've been like shouting him out on YouTube, and every now and then I'll go there and they don't have steaks. They just have ground beef. Anyways, I was at Walmart. I got a tomahawk ribeye for $16 and it's like
Amazing.
3 pounds. 3 pounds tomahawk ribeye. So yeah, I cooked that up today, did a little YouTube video, and it turned out fantastic. Every now and then it comes out just perfect. It came out great today. So yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. I saw that video. Had the yellow sticker on it, half off.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was shocked, man. It's literally half price.
You cooked that up tonight. And you're the master, Kerry, especially with your carnivore tools and the thermometers that you have and stuff. So did you sear it first or did you sear it last? What did you do?
I seared it last. I smoked it low and slow. I have a Bluetooth thermometer, so I tried to get it to like 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I put it on this little charcoal grill I got. And I don't know what happened today. I was able to get that charcoal grill up to like 700 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the hottest I've ever got it. So I put the thing on there, it almost lit on fire. It was just, and it just got a nice crust on it. I flipped it, wasn't on there too long, and came out incredible. When you reverse sear it that way, you smoke it first, something like that, that's that thick. It's consistently cooked all the way through, and it tastes so much better. You get that smoky flavor on there too. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You got to go through all these extra steps, but once you do it, you kind of can't go back. It tastes so good.
And did you eat that yourself, or did you share that with your family, Kerry?
I'd like to say I ate all of it myself, but I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to finish it. I would if it was my only meal. Jen made me bacon and eggs this morning, so I had some breakfast and then I had that. So Emma and the girls, I got 2 of those. I would have bought like 10 of them if I could have gotten them all for that price, but they had 2 sitting on the shelf, half price. So I cooked up 2, one for me, and then the girls are eating the other one. And I think there's some leftovers in the fridge.
Awesome. I just instructed Peter to go get me something out of the fridge. I wanted to show you, Kerry, because it's nice. What I'm having for dinner tomorrow night. Anthony, how was your day? What did you do today? And you're always eating when you're
right now. I'm eating the ribeye like always. Every time we have an interview, I'm always eating a steak of some type.
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna interrupt for a sec. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
This is from that Wild Fork. I bought it a few weeks ago, and Dante just said, "Hey, Dad, tomorrow night, can you do the tomahawk ribeye?" And I said, "Absolutely." So we're defrosting it overnight in the fridge. Here, Peter, you can put that back.
Have you had those from Wild Fork before, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
So huge shout out to our shared friend Adam Carnivore today. We had the triplets birthday party, and Adam wasn't able to make it. And of course, I didn't expect him to make it for the girls' birthday party all the way from Ohio, but we got a package in the mail. It was from Wild Fork, and it had a couple of those in there. The tomahawk.
Amazing.
Dude, this is way too much. And they're so big. Those things are incredibly huge. I cooked it up for the girls, and it was like my birthday present as well because they couldn't eat them all. So they were really good, though. I was really impressed.
That's amazing. Thanks. I actually, last night I had 2. You can buy ribeyes there, and they come in packs of 2. They're a pretty good size. Like I'm thinking they're about 1.5 pounds. And I cooked them up last night, and they were delicious. Like very fatty, very marbled. Yeah, so far so good with this Wild Fork.
Nice.
Sorry, Anthony, I cut you off.
Oh,
you're doing? You're eating?
I'm eating a ribeye like always, and dinner's either a ribeye or a T-bone if I can afford it. Whatever's on sale. If neither one's on sale, it's ground beef. Because you got a budget. But today's been a good day. I'm actually having a fairly lazy day because I have a busy day tomorrow, so I didn't want to exert myself too much today. Just I did the gym today, soaked in the sun, and now I'm hanging out with you guys.
That sounds like an awesome day, Anthony. Okay, I want to share my screen again. I gotta
always fun.
Hey, Kerry, I gotta stop doing this, announcing when I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So, anyways, here it is. This is the Tuesday Night Lives. As you can see, my episode 1 was on my supplements. Episode 2, my diet. Episode 3, fasting and exercise. Episode 4, my osteopath, which was quite interesting. A lot of people were interested in finding out what osteopaths do. So hopefully that episode, I delivered the message to my subscribers and anybody listening. But there it is if you need to go back and check it out. Couple weeks ago, 13 days ago, it was me and Anthony. Dwight couldn't make it, but we talked about chemotherapy and naturopath. So tonight's episode, if you are on my live tab, is on my YouTube friends, okay, while having stage 4 cancer. And this is part of my regimen as well, all right? My doctor's episode was supposed to be last week, and Ken DeBerry, he got really busy and he had to cancel on me. Kerry says that's happened a few times with him, right? But I can be very patient, especially for Dr. Ken DeBerry. Right. I can only imagine how busy he is, and I can't wait. But I think it's going to be the first week in August. I have the date. I think Peter might have put it on my channel already, but it's on a Monday. It's not on a Tuesday. His secretary said I'd have to wait till like September to get him on a Tuesday. Oh, here is the Kingdom Way. I just ordered a Healing Humanity t-shirt from Homestead Hal. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to Kathy. She's super awesome. Kathy, if you got any connections with Ben Bickman and you can hook me and Dwight up with an interview with Ben Bickman, oh man, that would be like a birthday present to my buddy Dwight. But
I was going to say,
yeah.
if you would have asked me, Dwight absolutely loves Ben Bickman. I hear him talk about him all the time.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Insulin is probably one of the things we need to pay attention to the most. Right. And especially with all diseases, especially cancer.
Yeah.
So I think if we could get something going on that one, that would be great. Anyways, tonight is my YouTube friends, and I'm going to start with introducing Anthony, and then I'll introduce Kerry, and I want to explain to everybody listening how important you guys have been to me. And since September, since I started my YouTube journey, and I started it with Kerry, and I'll explain that in a second. I've been on with Kerry and Anthony the most. Okay, Kerry, I've been on with you a lot, and I want to thank you for that. From the bottom of my heart, you've connected me to my doctors that have helped me with my journey, and you still are connecting me with a lot more people. So I want to thank you. I'm very blessed to have you in my life. Okay, Anthony, this is like, what is it, your fourth time on with me? I think this is episode 6.
Fourth time.
Yeah, you just didn't come on the osteopath one. I kicked you off for that one.
But I watched it from a distance.
I know you did. So Anthony, you've been on, like, I normally am on with doctors or Kerry or Professor Seafrid or just people that I want to really get their professional knowledge out to the world, especially when it comes to cancer and what we're doing. But you two guys, you're my two best friends. Anthony, I'm sorry, I don't like to give us labels, but you're my cancer YouTube best friend. Okay, we're gonna get rid of the word cancer soon. Both you and me are both gonna get rid of that word.
I call it battle buddies.
What is it?
Battle buddies.
Battle buddies. Okay, you're my battle best buddy. All right, my battle best buddy for sure on YouTube. And Kerry is my best YouTube buddy for sure. And tonight I already showed that picture, that photo of all those people I was meeting with. A couple new people tonight. Kerry Mann is the one that has done it for them. Okay, it's the one that got them onto Carnivore. And Kerry, your wife did something amazing, and I just want to show this quickly to everybody right here. This video here. Okay, I'm circling it. Oh, Peter's just reminding me. I'm not sharing my screen. Kerry, how do you do this? Do you have someone that just pops up your screen all the time?
No, I'm usually doing it myself.
That's pretty good. I got to get better at this. Everybody, all the subscribers, Kerry subscribers, I am very sorry, but I'm not as pro as Kerry. This video,
we got Anthony on there too. Look at that one.
Yes, this is perfect because these two videos here, they're the ones that I've been watching all week. And this one that Jen, if you click on it, you can see a little bit of it. Are your floors as
clean as you think?
We're not going to watch the commercial, but I'm just going to go back to the screen.
If it's
Anyways, right here, Jen made this for Kerry, and it was an amazing highlight reel of how great of a person you are, Kerry, and how many people you've inspired, especially when it comes to the carnivore diet. Okay, so I was watching this week, and then this video off to the side here, Kerry and Anthony. This was a great interview. Anthony, I'm very blessed for you to say those kind words that you said about me. Yeah, I think you even called me your role model. I think you were going a little bit too far there, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, and Anthony, I just want to say I want to introduce you, and then I want you to say a few things. But you came into my life, Anthony. You know, I got back from Italy, and I had a little bit of a mishap where I was having some progression, and I know I caused it when I was away. You came into my life when I was starting to come back and get back into my regimen and start these Tuesday night lives. I know that one day I was driving to my hyperbaric oxygen treatment and out of town, and I saw that video pop up. Who is it by? Who are you with?
Dave Mack.
Dave Mack. That's right. And it was about how cancer was shrinking. I think that was basically the title. My cancer is shrinking. I clicked on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And And I was watching the video. I'm like, I know this guy. I've seen this guy before. I've seen the name. And I did see the name because I was talking to you months before that via Messenger. But then when you brought my name up, someone brought you to me because I needed you in my life. And, when I started these Tuesday night lives, you're my battle buddy, and you're there right beside me, and you help me so much. And that's part of my regimen. That you don't understand how much that means to me. I look forward to these Tuesday night lives with you, and helping others. Us two together can help others as much as possible. So thank you, Anthony. I want to ask you, Anthony, before I get on to Kerry and do a little intro about Kerry. Anthony, since you've been in this now YouTube world, even though you don't have a YouTube channel, I know you have a few social media accounts. Have people been reaching out to you since you've been on Dave Mack, since you've been on with me, since you've been on with Kerry? Have people been reaching out to you, asking you questions to help them?
So first of all, before we get on to that topic, if you don't mind, I will classify you as my role model because you're paving the pathway, man. You went down a path and were open about it that most people are shut down about, even without the carnivore approach. So the fact you're doing two things at once, and one's against regulation as far as what the normal is, that to me makes me you my role model. To go on to people reaching out to me, I think I told you in the past, I've been kicked out of cancer group, stuff like that, for talking about my journey and successes and fails. And during those times, I had a few people here and there reaching out to me just because, they were interested in, my successes and fails. But it wasn't until my interview, of course, with Dave Mack and my interview with Kerry and then my lives with you, people that constantly, my phone's blowing up daily. I probably have 100 messages right now that I can't even respond to because I haven't learned how to budget my time accordingly to spend, a couple hours responding to people one day. And then, but the fact that people are outreaching me for my opinion or my thoughts, or just to congratulate me for being brave like you are, for all of us, that's the best part, of this whole journey. Even if I beat my cancer tomorrow or died from my cancer tomorrow, either way, the fact that I'm touching people's hearts and souls, and then they're applying themselves to figure out the best pathway for their own selves, that in itself, is why I'm doing this with you.
Absolutely. No, for sure, Anthony. And the whole time you were talking there, I was just envisioning how much hope that you're giving these people, right? That's exactly what you're doing. And, and you have a great personality that I think a lot of people, they can relate to. And I know you said you never really, how brave I am. And you were a little bit hesitant of, sharing your story. I'm quite, to be honest with you, I know I'm on YouTube right now, and I've told Kerry this before, but I'm an introvert normally. I just like to keep to myself. I like to stay in my house. I think we all have a calling at different times in our life. And, for the longest time, my calling was a high school phys ed teacher, and I loved it. And I love teaching kids. Kerry came and saw that. He got to see me a little bit in action while I was volunteering as coaching. But now I've realized there was a quote that I used to teach a gym leadership class. And I used to start with this quote at the beginning of the semester. Real good leaders, they have to be willing to give up who they are for who they might become, right? Someone famous said that, but that's what true leaders are. You have to be willing to give up who you are for who you might become. And you know what? Right now, I think we have a calling, Anthony, to share what we're doing. And I do think you and I are doing a pretty darn good job of it. So I want to thank you. You are my best battle buddy on YouTube. And this is the thing. My sons love listening to you. Okay. They think you're the coolest, right? You're kind of you're like a superhero too. Okay. With your beard and you're like, and you always got your superpower suspenders on and everything. They love listening to you. And I love hearing you just talk naturally. And I know you apologize sometimes when you curse. Don't worry about it. Okay. Sometimes it's good passion. It's good passion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
what I tell it's passion,
that's
passion
right.
and heart, if language
100%.
offends somebody, I'm sorry.
No, you're not offending anyone. Kerry, and Anthony, sorry. We're gonna meet. You and I are gonna work out. We're gonna kill some ribeyes together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna crush some ribeyes together. We're gonna work out, and we're gonna make cancer our beep.
Yep.
Right. All right. I'm moving on. I got to move on to Kerry here. Okay. And I'm gonna share my screen again. I got to stop doing that. I keep saying that. Okay.
Well, you're working on your screen. Can I make a quick comment?
Yes. Go ahead, please do. That's a good way to. That's a good way to transition. Next time, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wink at you. So
yeah, we're warned.
All right.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth. You could, correct me, but to go back on your statement, with your quote, how did you word that? We got to let go of who we are for who we're going to become for like a leader. When my cancer card first happened, I couldn't understand why me, why the Lord or God or whoever the upper power is put me in this predicament. And here we are 2 years later, and this is why me, it's because this picture, the picture I'm in is bigger than I am. I'm just a piece of the puzzle, and I'm helping, you and others pave this pathway. This is why I got my cancer card, and I understand it now.
Absolutely. Thanks. Okay, listen to this,
Stories.
Guys. Kind of touching story. His name is Jeffrey Prosperis, Coach Prosperis. He's suffering from stage 4 cancer, and he wanted to put a video out. He's doing really well on Carnivore, but he wanted to put a video out to his doctors. And you may not know this, but you're one of his doctors. So I was hoping to share this video with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
My name is Jeff Prosperis.
Kerry, I was in tears how you mentioned me, and even more when Shafee spoke to me. Thank you so much. I want to be part of what you're doing, and I want to be part of what you and my doctors are doing. That was how it all got started. I believe I sent that to you middle of September. Well, it says right there, Sunday, September 17th.
Yeah.
I think I sent that to you on the 15th, 14th, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Is it done? Did I stop? Okay, good. Excellent. I sent you that video, and I made it in a panic because I know exactly what happened. I think I buried my father like on the 13th. I had chemo on the 14th. I came home that night, and I made a video for Kerry because I knew he was doing this 24-hour live event, and I saw that he was just asking for success stories. I didn't read the fine print. The video was only supposed to be 30 seconds long, and it was a 9-minute video, and I was totally blown away that you showed it on the 24-hour live event, and you showed it to Dr. Anthony Shafee, and he's one of my favorites. He is like a superhero, and I love the way he speaks and how sincere he is. And from that moment on, you really set me up, Kerry, to talking to my doctors. I think my first one was with Sean Baker. Then I was on with you and Tony Hampton. Then I was on Dr. Tony Hampton. Then I was on with Professor Seafried. Then I was on with Dr. Anthony Shafee. I think I was on with Anthony Shafee a few times. I think I was on with JT once. Then I was on for like an athletes one with him. Anyways, the list goes on. And I've been on with Professor Seafried a few times with you. I think the roundtable one that we did with me and a few other cancer patients is like 800,000 views on your channel. It's unbelievable. I'm so very blessed, Kerry, and I thank the Lord every day for you coming to me. Both you guys are like my angels that have been sent to me. And Kerry, thank you so much. I just want to know, Kerry, I think this is probably an emotional week for you because I think you're starting to realize the power that you have in terms of healing humanity. what you're doing is unbelievable. And that highlight reel that Jen made, and she said in that video, she had some people say, I think some people quoted, next to Kendi Berry, you're probably the most influential person when it comes to the carnivore diet and what the carnivore diet is doing for humans today. And you know what? Kendi Berry, he's a doctor, so he's at a different level. Okay. In terms of like YouTube, you are the most inspirational person that I've ever watched on YouTube. And sometimes I need the motivation. I need the motivation lots of times. And sometimes when I'm driving with my sons and we can't find something to listen to learn, I go, let's just put Kerry on. Let's put Kerry on. You're always our go-to. And I love your content. And I want to thank you. And I want to ask you, how do you have time to do what you do? That's my biggest thing. Like you have Carnivore. You have so many jobs. I don't know. Do you want to expand on that? Just tell us, like, how do you do what you do?
Yeah. Well, geez, thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate that. I just want to say you're an inspiration to me. When, like with Bill Knott, we always use the word providence, something bigger. It's something bigger than me that's going on. And that is the truth for sure. The fact that I even saw your email for the 24-hour live stream that you sent me, that you said you wanted to share, we were getting inundated with emails. And for some reason, yours stood out. And like you said, your video was way longer. So I was seeing other videos like that. I'm like, next. But the fact that you are on a journey to be cancer-free, battling cancer, and you want to spend your time helping provide, you use this word, Jeff, just a minute ago to Anthony, helping provide hope to other people. So inspiring, so touching, so amazing. Like as if you don't have enough on your plate and you wanted to do that. So that just really touched me. And then when I saw your video too, I could just feel the urgency, just the need to share this with other people. Not that you have stage 4 cancer and you're going through this incredible battle, but how much you were thriving on a proper human diet, like an Energizer bunny, thriving like next level. Like I feel like I'm 20 years old. Like this is incredible. Everyone needs to know about this. And that's what really touched me when we did that. And by the way, when you rolled that Dr. Chafee clip, wasn't that amazing? I don't know if you noticed it, but if you watch it again, the little smirk he gets on his face when I say, I don't know if you know this, but you're his doctor. He's like,
yes.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yes.
So cool.
And you know what? I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Anthony Chafee. If he's watching this or if he sees it later on, he is such a kind human being. He's such a kind doctor, and he makes the time. Like I could probably email him like tonight and say, hey, can you do a live with me next week? And he would. Like he makes the time.
He was the very first person. I started doing this whole carnivore thing, and I love Dr. Chafee just like you did. And I'm like, I'd love to talk to him. I have questions. Like, I don't understand why all this is happening. I sent him an email, and it was like the next day, and I was on. Like, and this was before my channel even had any traction. And he was the first person I asked if he'd participate in this documentary. And his answer was, without even thinking for a second, 100% yes, I'll do it.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
He's just incredible. So to answer your question, Carnivore, like I'm not trying to hype it up or joke around. I couldn't do any of this before Carnivore. I just have endless energy. And I asked that same question to Dr. Chafee too. This guy's doing brain surgery, neurosurgery, YouTube videos every single night. He's traveling around speaking at conferences. I'm like, how do you do this, Dr. Chafee? He says the same thing. It's Carnivore. I just have excess energy. I stay up later. I sleep less. And it has been a little crazy lately with the movie theater being open summertime most days. But
Kerry, I'm gonna lead into something here, because watching that video that your awesome wife Jen made for you, and that was put out there this week that I just showed earlier in the video, Emma's on there quite a bit. And Emma is thanking her dad, and she's been carnivore for a year. And she said her dad was present before, but not really present. And then she shows a photo of you, and your belly's huge, your face is inflamed, you look horrible. And then your present day photo with you with your Black Healing Humanity shirt, you look unbelievable. So I think like that transformation there is phenomenal. And the time that now you're getting with your family, and that's another thing. I think you probably built a good family team at home. that you guys can get everything done. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, you just you nailed it on the head there, Jeff, for sure. What Emma said too, that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this, because I was so depressed and I was so out of it, and I wasn't there for my family, I wasn't there for my wife, I wasn't there for my children. I tried to be as best as I could be, but being exhausted, being fatigued, and just being in just the worst depression you could ever imagine. So that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it now, because I would have given anything at that time to just be like, as I would say, normal. Like when I look around in public, nobody has this horrible depression that I have. They're just normal. I want to be normal. But Carnivore has brought me to the opposite of whatever that depression was. Like I'm full of gratitude. I'm happy. I'm just, I couldn't ask for anything more. So that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it. And the fact that Emma's doing it and the whole family's doing it now is huge. But one of the things, like, I appreciate your nice words, Jeff, but you're inspiring me so much more. Anthony, too, you guys willing to share your journey and be brave and get your story out there is providing hope for so many people. But one of the things that I've really learned from Jeff and was inspired from Jeff spending the weekend filming with you, Healing Humanity, is you as a father. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Your relationship with your kids, they're like Peter, Dante, they're like your best friends, your relationship with your whole family. This is one of the sad things in the world is most people don't have stage 4 cancer. And those people that don't have it, a lot of them aren't living their life to the fullest potential or even close to it. And when I see Jeff, I see Anthony, you guys are living your life to its fullest potential. You're really living and you're there for your kids. I don't know how many live streams I've done with Jeff, and he's like in the car at soccer practice. I'm like, that is a beautiful thing. You got your priorities right. You're watching the games and you're there for the boys and all that stuff. It really has inspired me, Jeff. When I left with you last time, I'm like, I'm getting way better on Carnivore with my mind right and not having the depression, but I lost balance because this documentary, like everything, it's taking up so much time. So getting that balance back. When we went to Austin, I took Emma and Katie with me. I'm going to Alaska next month to film Bill Knott, 1 year on Carnivore. Emma's coming with me. So I'm getting that balance back, but I owe you a big thank you for that, Jeff, because you really inspired a lot of that for sure.
That's no, you're welcome, Kerry. And you deserve all the praise. And I'll tell you something, that meetup tonight, I kind of told them and gave them a heads up that you might be coming to film me again. So when you do come in the fall, there's going to be a lot of people in Ontario. We're gonna do a meetup. Maybe we can drag JT and sneak Anthony in there too, and we can get some barbecues out at a park and just have an amazing time. And it really is, the carnivore community, it's really awesome. The doctors, the people that we're meeting, like that one woman there tonight, and I'm going to give a shout out to her, Pat, if she's listening. She was at your South Carolina meetup, and then she started coming to my meetups, and I sent you a photo of her, and then you said, Kerry, hey, she was at my meetup. She's from the Native Reserve here in Ontario. It's just, the community is amazing. Everybody wants to hear everybody's success stories. Everybody wants to help each other. I just think it's super awesome. Peter, you got any questions we can break up the night with? I'm going to break the night up a little bit too with some fun things. Okay. So the last time I ate an apple was probably 2.5 years ago. Anthony, when's the last time you ate an apple?
Probably 5 or 6 years ago. I have no idea.
6 years ago? Kerry, what about you?
Oh, probably 1.5 years ago.
1.5 years ago. You know what? I used to really love an apple.
Yeah,
I really did. I either start my day with it or I would end my day with it. Maybe after my dinner, right? But I haven't eaten one in 2.5 years, and I don't think I'll ever eat an apple again in my life.
Yep. They
say an apple a day will keep you away from the doctor. I think an apple a day, this is my opinion, will bring you to the doctor. Okay. Apples are a lot different. I've seen a video that you did, I think just recently, Kerry. You talked about how apples are so different. They used to be this small. Now they're this big.
Big ball of sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyways, Carnivore today, this is a huge shout out. I know who this is. Okay. This is Adam Lacey, Kerry's good friend, Kerry's partner in making the documentary. So Carnivore today, I haven't heard from you in a while. Can't wait to go film Jeff and Dwight with Kerry again soon. Jeff, I've been prepping with the X3 bar and won't be caught off guard by the Energizer Bunny this time. Much love to you and the fam. That's awesome. I can't wait, Adam, for you to come. The X3 bar, let's bring it on. I can't wait to do a workout with you guys again for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back up there, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Canada loves you, Kerry.
We've been every now and then we go to McDonald's and get some patties, and every single time I go through the drive-thru, I got a big smile on my face thinking of the Jeff to Prosperis. I do it too. Sorry,
that's awesome. Sorry, eh? Bunch of carnivores here. We just order a whole bunch of patties. Okay, next, Kerry. Sorry, Peter. You got another one? Pull up. Nope. Let's see here. Okay, just bring the questions. Subscribers, I want to say another welcome to all of Kerry's subscribers from Homestead How that are viewing and my subscribers. Please, if you're putting questions in, please put in QQQ. That helps Peter see a lot of the questions and he can get them started and popped up. We
had, speaking of Dwight, Jeff,
yes,
we did that big diabetes live stream with Dr. Hampton, Dr. Barry, Dr. Westman. I don't know if you guys caught that, but Dwight came on at the perfect time because Dr. Barry wasn't able to make the whole call, and he jumped on right in the middle of Dwight talking. It was
that was cool. Perfect. That was perfect. I saw that.
Like, Dwight, do you mind if Dr. Barry interrupts us here for a second? So I know he's a big fan of Dr. Barry, so that worked out pretty well.
Big time. Next to Ben Bickman, Dwight probably watches Candy Barry the most as well, for sure. Yeah. Anyways, Anthony, what has Carnivore done for you other than help you fight cancer? What you think is the best benefit that you've gotten from Carnivore?
I don't know if there's an actual one best benefit because there's so many benefits that I've gotten besides just controlling and shrinking my cancer. To say that the best benefit is probably depression's gone. I'm full of gratitude and joy 24/7. Even in a bad mood or a bad episode or a bad day, I'm still trying to find the positive light in the negative. And before Carnivore based, I couldn't do that. Like I'd try to search for the light and couldn't find it. And now being Carnivore based, it's easy to just think positive. Like I told Kerry with my interview, I wake up every day being grateful. Something bad happens, I'm still grateful, because there's a lesson in something bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's number one, it's probably mindset's just through the roof.
I just want to say real quick, that is the coolest thing. Anthony mentioned that during the interview, and we've filmed 27 people now, Adam and I, for this documentary, and almost every single one of them has that same thing. And you don't expect it. They're talking about gratitude. In fact, one woman I interviewed said it almost like Anthony just did. She said she wakes up every morning overflowing with gratitude just for the sunshine in the morning. It's something weird with Carnivore. I don't know. You get a second chance at life. You got energy. There's something with that, but that gratitude's a pretty awesome thing.
I saw this and I thought it was pretty funny. I've been looking at an apple for 6 months and it won't rot. That did it for me.
Wow.
Absolutely. Crazy. Let's see what one hope for all. Our friend Sandra. Sandra is Honeycrisp was my favorite apple, but I hate the way they made my stomach feel after eating a whole big apple. Absolutely. I stopped eating apples before I even went keto. Then I went carnivore. Absolutely. Just thinking about it upsets my stomach, to be honest with you, Sandra.
Yeah. I would always eat one trying to do good for breakfast, and then it was like an hour later, I'm hungry again from that sugar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus now they've got that appeal like coating around the edge of it. So like the person said earlier, it'll last like 6 months and it won't rot, and pesticides in it, all sorts of stuff.
Here's just a thank you. Thanks, Novell and Susan, from the awesome advice. Oh, they're saying thank you to somebody else here. Hold on a second here. Once you give up the carbs and do carnivore long enough, many people find it easier to give up things like smoking. Carnivore is only smoke meat. Absolutely. Yes. Hey, what do you guys, is there anything that you guys, because this is a carnivore room right here. Is there anything that you guys miss from your old diet? Anthony, what do you miss
Yes
the
and
most?
no.
Okay.
To go on to the subject about fruits, because you brought up apples, my weakness with fruits was pears. I loved pears. Every Christmas, every birthday, my mom would home can me pears. And honestly, I got 2 cases sitting in front of me right now, but I won't touch them. So I've had to learn discipline and self-control. I'll give the pears to, my niece or nephew or somebody eventually, or maybe I'll eat a case or a can of it eventually, see what happens. But the last time I tried to eat pears was, oh goodness, 4 or 5 months ago. This is halfway into my cancer or carnivore journey, and those pears upsetted my stomach, which is because the sugar content, and so
Absolutely.
I can't do it anymore. Even though I love the taste of it, I don't like the after effect. So pears was my hardest thing to give up. The second hardest thing to give up was pasta and ice cream. But now that I go without it, I don't really mind it because I don't enjoy feeling like crap after I eat it. Plus, I've learned how to make pasta out of eggs. I mean, it's not the same, but it looks like a noodle.
Absolutely. Anthony, another reason why I know we're friends, the pear was my favorite fruit as well. I love the Bartlett pear. I loved when it was nice and hard, crunchy, right? And fruit is something that I think of all the carbs, there is some fruits that I miss, okay? But I never liked vegetables. And me being Italian, believe it or not, I don't miss pasta. I don't miss pizza. I liked pizza. It was one of my favorite foods, but I don't miss it. It's definitely just that fruit too, as well. Kerry, is there anything that you miss on being carnivore?
There's one thing. I don't really miss it anymore, but since I was little, my favorite thing was getting like Butterfinger Blizzard, Butterfinger ice cream. And there's this place. I don't know if you guys, I don't think you have it in Canada. It's called Culver's here in Wisconsin. It's really
we don't
popular.
have it there. Yeah.
They have flavor of the day, and every now and then you'll drive by and it'll be Butterfinger flavor of the day. But I don't miss it anymore. Like it's not even close to like an issue. Like I'm gonna go get one of those things, because when I did keto diet for years, every now and then I'd have a cheat day and I'd have some ice cream like that or something. And every single time I felt absolutely horrible. I never once did one of those cheat days and ate some Butterfinger and some ice cream and was like, gee, I'm glad I did that. I deserved it. I always felt worse afterwards. So other than that, maybe fruit every now and then. I used to enjoy fruit, I guess. But yeah, I don't miss it. I feel so much better.
Man, I'm happy. I'm on day 3 of Carnivore RN, and it's the first day today. I haven't staggered either. Like, wasn't forced to have bad food. I'm praying it's like that forever, because this will be a hard to start. All right, thanks for sharing. Are you popping this up, Peter? Oh, he's not. I was wondering who was popping that up. There's one. Oh, here's one. Gifted 5 Homestead How memberships. How's that work?
Brett, who's your carnivore, Brett? Thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate that.
That's awesome. Hey, I was watching Dr. Sean Baker today. It was a pretty recent video, came out where he was in the middle and there's 2 guys on either side of him. And he was talking about, and they were asking him, if there's anything that he misses on being carnivore. And Sean Baker, and then they asked him, do you feel like you're depriving yourself of anything? And he basically said, I have a ribeye steak a day. I don't think I'm depriving myself of anything. Right. So, and I totally agree with him there. Like, a ribeye steak is like the most delicious, real food that you can eat. And not, and you know what? I know not everybody can afford it all the time. Right. So, but if you get rid of all the other garbage that you buy, like I call it the pantry food, right? Yeah. Most people can afford a ribeye, especially when it goes on sale at Walmart, Kerry?
That's right. Yeah.
So do you guys feel that you're depriving yourself since you've been on this carnivore journey?
I do not at all. No. And I'm about on day 500 now. I was just doing a video. I'm like 500 days. I still don't feel deprived. I'm not sick of eating steak. that's like you're saying there, man, there could be a lot worse things in the world than have a diet where you get to eat one of the best foods in the world, just ribeyes and steaks and beef. Yeah, I don't miss anything. I feel great.
Absolutely. And all you got to do, Kerry, is look at an old photo of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're definitely not depriving yourself.
Yeah.
I
about
definitely
you,
don't feel
Anthony?
deprived either. I mean, I wouldn't say I definitely not deprived. I enjoy the way I eat now. I enjoy feeling good. Like I'm sure you agree. You know, it's hard not to feel good.
Yes. Yes.
And I think my great grandmother said it the best. It feels good to feel good. And I didn't realize how that statement truly meant until I felt good on a daily basis. Because growing up, I'd only feel good, a couple of days a week. And then I'd go back to feeling like crap because of, life and everything else. So I definitely am not deprived. I, like you said, a ribeye is like candy now, it's a treat. Right. I can eat one almost every day because I'm not spending my money on wasted stuff to fill the void, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Anthony, when you were on my channel, you were talking about, you never really calculated it, but if you really think about how much money you were spending before, I don't think a lot of people do that honest math when you really think about breakfast, lunch, dinner, all the snacks in between, the sauces, the spices, all of the side dishes. You make a recipe and you got to go pick this up from the grocery store. Beer, dessert afterwards, man, it adds up big time. A lot of people I don't think do the true math.
If you take the time to do the math, it's amazing what you could figure out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Here's a nice little comment. High 10, high 5 there. Okay, from Aunt B. I'm so glad you're doing this today. I can hardly wait to send this to someone hospitalized with cancer. Thank you so very much. That's what, anybody listening today, like myself and Anthony, we both have stage 4 cancer. We're both
incurable.
Yeah, incurable. We're terminally ill. Okay, terminally ill. That means end of life. And that's the diagnosis we were given from the beginning. So, and here I am 26 months later. Anthony, what about you?
I'm on my 16th month from my diagnosis.
Yeah.
16 months since I quit chemo. Come September will be 2 years from my diagnosis.
And how long you been carnivore for, Anthony?
Carnivore, come September 1st will be a solid year carnivore. And the first 6 or 7 months was strictly beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And then now I've kind of expanded, but now I'm back to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
So beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, stage 4 cancer. I pretty much do the exact same thing. I eat, the odd time chicken and pork. All right. Cancer patients are told to avoid red meat. They're kind of told to eat whatever they want, right? To enjoy their life. Just don't be stressed out. Just take it easy. Okay. I don't know about you, Anthony, but you want to live.
Yeah.
I want to live too. So, carnivore diet is working for us. It really is. And I say, of all my regimen items, okay, this is episode 6. Okay, this is a very important one because my friends, all right? But the ones that are the most important that don't cost anything, exercise, fasting, and diet. Diet really doesn't cost anything. And if you choose to do carnivore diet, look at the success that Anthony and I are having. This person that's going to share this to anybody that's hospitalized, look at the success we're having. Okay? And if you get rid of all that pantry garbage, I'm sorry, I'm calling it pantry garbage. If you get rid of it, it really doesn't cost you anything. People have to eat to live. Okay? And it's doing us well. Okay, I'm going to change. Oh, Peter's got something else here. I have just this one's for you, Anthony.
She's a battle buddy of mine. I know her.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah, nice. She's a battle buddy? All right.
Yeah, she's got the same cancer I got.
She just spent 5 days in the hospital due to my disease. Immediately after getting out of the hospital, I started the carnivore diet. Yes, Lisa. Good for you. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. I one more thing. Anybody tuning in and listening, because Kerry, Mann, hooked me up with Professor Seaford. And if anyone doesn't know who Professor Seaford is, he is probably the leading researcher in the world when it comes to cancer being a metabolic disease. Okay. And I'm sorry, but the more and more I learn about my disease, and I know yours is a little bit genetics, but you believe, Anthony, that it's metabolically caused as well because of the mitochondria, correct, Anthony?
Yeah. My doctor told me it's genetics, but through the Thomas Sidfree approach and learning how mitochondria works, I'm a firm believer, I swear on my life, that I can change my DNA through lifestyle and food and fasting. And it all starts with the proper human diet.
Yes, absolutely. So anyways, Professor Seifried, people need to listen to him. Okay. And he talks about how we can cure cancer. I wouldn't say, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say cure cancer, but we can treat cancer. We can make cancer better. Okay. And we can give people hope by, doing something like he doesn't really say the carnivore diet. He calls it a ketogenic diet. But carnivore diet is the ultimate ketogenic diet. Okay. And if you learn more from Professor Seifried, everybody listening and tuning in, especially, this is great that Lisa's starting the carnivore diet. There's two fuels, glucose and glutamine, right? So glucose is the main fuel, and that's sugar, that's carbohydrates, that's in all plants. Okay. So I don't know why anybody would want to be eating glucose. Okay. Because that's the main fuel source. Glutamine is in all foods. That's an amino acid, and you can block that in different ways. You can reduce it by exercising. You can reduce it by fasting. You can reduce it. There's drugs that can help reduce it. There's supplements that can help reduce it. But the main fuel source is glucose, and you can reduce that. Peter, sorry, pop up that next one. Anthony, I want to hear how your tests go in October, mate. Naval, do you know Naval?
I'm not 100% sure. If I do, I apologize for getting your name. I'm still learning everybody.
That's awesome. Thanks, Naval. I'm sure he'll let you know. He'll let you know for sure. I'll still be on with him all the time. QQQ. Kerry, how do you think I should shop for my meats in the future, and what should I try?
Oh, good question. If you can buy local, independently raised meats and you can afford it, that's what I would advocate for. I'm so lucky and blessed. My neighbor's a 6th-generation farmer. I drive past the cows all the time. The prices he has are really reasonable. They're grass-fed, pretty much grass-finished. He does a little bit of grain just at the very end, but that is the best you could do. But if you can't afford that, my advice is do the best you can. Dr. Ken Berry's talked about this before. In my opinion, eating the cheapest meat you can get from the grocery store is still 1,000 times better than the standard American diet and eating sugar and garbage and things like that. What should I try? Well, you probably already tried ribeye, but that's the gold standard, right? Ribeye's pretty much everyone's favorite. But, surprisingly, after I've been doing carnivore almost 500 days now, I enjoy ground beef too. I have ground beef almost every day, ground beef and eggs for breakfast a lot of times. So the weirdest thing I ever tried was beef shanks. That always just sounded unappetizing to me. Like, who wants to eat a shank? But when we were filming Mimi out in South Carolina, she made us these braised beef shanks. It was one of the most incredible meals I've ever had. And I've since made that several times at home. You cook that low and slow, and it comes out fantastic. So I'd try the beef shanks if I were you.
That's awesome. Hey, I just want to expand on that because you just got me thinking of something. Tonight in my meetup, the new girl, Jessica, she brought, because everyone's bringing their own meats to eat because we had a little picnic before we did the stairs. She brought grass-fed, grass-finished patties from Costco. And Kerry, I think you buy them there before. And I've been looking for them, but they weren't in Canada. So they just arrived in Canada at the Costco. And they come in a stack in the frozen section. Yeah. Grass finished, like grass-fed and grass-finished. And she let me try a piece, and actually the fat content was like 30 grams of fat per patty to like 26 grams of protein. There was more fat than protein in that patty.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. So I'm going to Costco this week to grab some more for sure.
Those are so convenient too. Like the girls, like Emma, we were talking about Emma, she'll just take those, throw them in the air fryer for a couple minutes, and you're ready to go. It doesn't make a mess or anything.
Talking about convenience, before we go on to this next question, how convenient is carnivore? Like I like my wife and I, we used to worry every day. What are we doing for dinner? What are we cooking for dinner?
Yeah.
we really don't worry. As long as we got our fridge stocked with meats, something's going in the air fryer, something's going on the barbecue, something's going somewhere. It's probably the easiest way to eat, to live.
Food freedom.
Absolutely.
Easy, cheap, and fast.
Yeah.
For sure.
People don't get that because they're coming from the mindset of the standard American diet where you're eating 3, 4, 5 times a day with all of your snacks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very liberating, very freeing when you do carnivore. You don't ever have to think about food.
Okay, here's a question. My sister has a rare blood cancer and takes chemo pills, wondering if carnivore would benefit her. Anthony, you want to touch on that? And I can expand on it too if you don't have anything.
I honestly think, I mean, of course, I don't want to go against nobody's doctors. You know what doctors say goes. I mean, I don't want to put somebody in a predicament they're not ready for. But honestly, I would give it a shot myself. I don't see how carnivore would harm anything. If anything, it might do the opposite. It'll probably benefit, because what I've learned through my journey, and I'm sure you guys could, attest to this, is a body that's excessively inflamed can't heal. And if you're continuing to put food in your mouth that is inflammation food, how's your body ever going to heal, even with the right treatment behind it?
Absolutely. And just to expand on that, Anthony, and I agree with you, we're not doctors. Obviously, we got to put that out there. But my father passed away in September, right before I sent Kerry that video. Okay. And my father passed away. He had a rare blood disease that led to leukemia. And he actually had it for 18 years. And his red blood count was low. And he eventually, they knew he was going to get leukemia. And that's what happened to him last summer. He got it, and then the chemo pills that he was taking weren't working anymore. And then they just were throwing pills at him. But he had a low red blood count. I'm not sure what you have, but I was trying to convince my father. He was just a little bit old school. Okay. What's going to build red blood cells? I think the iron in red meat would build it, right? It's the building blocks, right? Especially like all those amino acids that you get from red meat. So I think that would have been, I didn't tap Peter. Who changed it? Sorry. Anyways, I just want to go back to that last question we were at. Sorry, that's okay. Anyways, that last person we were at, I'm not sure what blood disorder you have, but yeah, I don't think it would hurt. I think if anything, the carnivore diet would be very beneficial. Okay, yeah. Next one.
I just wanted to add one thing to that real quick. Jeff, my dad has a rare blood cancer he was recently diagnosed with. It sounds similar to yours as well. And my dad's old school as well. Like everyone else in my family started carnivore. He's not interested in it, unfortunately. But I just wanted to add real quick what Jeff said earlier about Professor Seyfried, glucose and glutamine feeding cancer. If you don't believe that and you set that aside, just the fact that every single person I've talked to that started carnivore has said their testosterone increased, their sleep improved, their immune system got stronger, like their mood got better, like all of those factors alone would just make you think that if you're going to go through something like cancer, having a stronger immune system would probably be beneficial. So for those reasons, aside from what Professor Seyfried teaches with glucose and glutamine, I think it would just make sense to do carnivore for that alone.
This is your buddy, Kerry, right? Who's your carnivore?
Yeah, Brett, who's your carnivore?
Dr. Barry would say that if you are turning O2 into CO2, you can do carnivore.
Here you go.
There you go. Paul R., I can't get my cancer doctors to really listen to me when I mention Professor Seyfried. They have no idea who I'm talking about. Well, you know what, Paul? I had the same thing. I brought up probably a year ago to my oncologist. I've been doing chemo since May 2022. And after about a year into it, I brought up Professor Seyfried's work, the Press Pulse paper that a lot of people should read, and the metabolic approach. And he had no idea who Professor Seyfried was. And it is a little bit disheartening when that happens, because, you would think that oncologists, they're working with cancer patients, they want to be on top of things, what's happening. But you're not alone in that one. I think that's where Kerry's advice, you got to take things into your own two hands, right, Kerry? And you got to do your own research. The cancer doctors, and just to defend them a little bit, they're very, very busy. They're dealing with cancers going through the roof, right? In terms of how many people are getting cancer, right? So they have so many patients they're dealing with, and their day is so compact, they don't really have time. Here's another thing. I asked for a fasting insulin test for my oncologist a couple weeks ago, and he didn't even know what that was. Okay. Whereas insulin is something that, I want to make sure I'm not releasing insulin, because insulin is the growth factor in the cancer cells. It opens up the gate for the glucose to attach to the receptors, right? So, you got to do all the research. You got to understand the science. Professor Seifert, I would say Paul R, just keep reading it and surround yourself with the right people, and build a good community that's going to support yourself. How did you dial? You know what? This is a good question, because I was just about to ask this. How do you dial in electrolytes? Sometimes I think I might be using too much. How much salt do you need daily? Kerry, do you want to attack that one?
Oh, this is a tough one for me to answer. It depends on what you're going through. Like Jeff does different supplements because he's going through cancer than I might do. I don't use any electrolytes anymore. When I started Carnivore, I did the first couple of weeks, and then I did quite often. Now I just really listen to my body. If I'm going to be out working in the sun or exercising a bunch and I start feeling fatigued or tired, I'll have more. But other than that, I seem to get enough sodium and salt out of the meat I'm eating, or the salt I'm putting on the meat. So that's the interesting thing with me on Carnivore, and most people on Carnivore. I don't really, I get these questions a lot, like how much of this or how much of that. I don't really measure anything. I just listen to my body and go from there.
Anthony, do you have something to say about electrolytes?
Yeah. Like to go off of Kerry's thing is, I think electrolytes really depend on a person's body type and also a person's activity levels. I mean, of course, if you're going to be in the sun and sweating more, you should be more in electrolytes, or have more electrolytes. I myself, get these little packets called LMNT.
Yes, I was just going to say that too.
I get the raw flavored ones. Occasionally I'll get the flavored ones, but I've gotten used to the way salt water tastes, so the raw is better for you, in my opinion. But I'll drink at least one of those packets a day. If it's now we're in summertime, I drink 2 of those packets a day. But I also, when I'm at the gym, I'll drink, a gallon of water just at the gym itself, because I sweat so dang much. And so we're salt-based as humans, so we have to replace what, we sweat out or piss out. Now, I don't know if either one of you guys have a way to correct me on this, because I'm not 100% sure how accurate it is. But from the research I've done, if you take too much electrolytes, too much salt, you're just going to piss it out. It shouldn't. I mean, if anything, it's just going to make your kidney work a little bit harder, correct?
Yeah, I think it
shouldn't do anything damage-wise, though.
No, I don't think so. And you'll probably urinate it out. I think you're right. But I think both you guys answered it. It all depends on what you're doing, right? And how much activity you're doing. And all I know is that, sometimes before my boys go to sports, they fill up their water bottle and they put that element in there. And as we're driving them to soccer, they're drinking it and they're getting prepared. But then I notice when they come home, they really want a full glass of it with that element in there, right? Because they feel it after all that running and training they were doing on the soccer pitch, that they really need those extra sodium, magnesium, potassium, everything that. And you're right, Anthony, that element is really good. And that was my question. Before we go on to the next question, Peter, we're just going to hold off. I wanted to ask you guys what your opinion is about water and how much water we should be drinking. Because Anthony, I noticed you carry a big jug around, right? In that jug, do you have element?
Yes,
you do.
Always.
Okay. So it's not just water, because I from what I've learned, and I think it was Dr. Berg. We kind of have this misconception. Somebody made up this thing that we have to drink 8 cups of water a day, right? And that's kind of a myth. 2 or 3 glasses are sufficient. Or if you're doing a lot more activity, Anthony, you obviously need more. But our bodies aren't made up of 80% water. They're made up of 80% electrolytes with water, right? So that's the thing. And I think sometimes people are drinking too much water. This is just my opinion. And we're totally like diluting ourselves of all the nutrients and minerals, right? And you know, and that's why we need to take extra. These people that, you know, that drink water all day long, they're not doing any activity, right? And they're not eating a proper human diet, right? They're really not they're wasting away all their proper nutrition and minerals. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
I think you're right on. And interestingly, been doing carnivore almost 500 days now. I've had my blood work done a couple times. And if anyone watches my YouTube channel, they always leave 100 comments on how I use way too much salt. Like I go nuts with the salt. And interestingly, when I got my blood work done, I was deficient in sodium. It was the only thing I was low on. And it was for the reason that you just mentioned, Jeff. My whole life, even before carnivore, I just drank tons and tons of water, like an incredible amount of water. Like if we go to a restaurant, I would be embarrassed because the waiter would have to just keep bringing pitchers. I just keep drinking and drinking it. So I learned that a couple months ago. Actually, Dwight, our buddy Dwight, helped me out with this. He's like, how much water are you drinking? I was doing exactly what you were saying. My sodium levels were low because I think I was just flushing it out by drinking way too much water. So I've tried to regulate, instead of trying to have more salt, I've cut down the water, and I think my numbers are going to be normal the next time I get them tested.
No, absolutely. Dwight's not a big fan of drinking tons of water either. And I figured that out. You can actually count now, you know, there's caffeine and diuretics in a black coffee, but you can actually count that as there's actually water in there too. So you can count that as water, right? But the main thing is the electrolytes. And if you're eating a carnivore diet, you probably are getting a good amount, especially if you're salting your meat, right? So I just wanted to ask that. Peter, next one. Paul R, I'm 2 years cancer free. Nice. That's awesome, Paul R. At least that's what they tell me. I had tongue cancer, so the tumor was removed. I've been carnivore for over 2 years. I'm just going to touch on that right away. And Anthony, maybe you can expand on that. Paul R, congratulations. That's phenomenal. I'm glad that you caught it early enough that, you know, you could have surgery and the tumor was removed. And thank goodness you're doing what you're doing, becoming carnivore. Okay. There's so many people that get tumors removed and things, and, you know, that because they have stage 1, 2 cancer, and then they continue on with their lifestyle. I see it happening. I hang out with cancer patients every other Wednesday at a cancer clinic. Okay. You know, they're getting a second chance in life. I know when I beat cancer, I'm staying carnivore. Dwight said to me, Jeff, when you become metabolically healthy, basically when you beat cancer, he said he was going to teach me the odd fruit and vegetable that I can reintroduce into my diet. I don't need it. I don't like vegetables, period. Okay. Maybe the odd fruit, the odd berry, but I do that right now. Actually, I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm 93% carnivore because I do eat berries from time to time. Okay. But I really want to praise you, Paul, because you're taking it to the next level. Okay. You had your tumor removed and you're becoming carnivore because, just like you said, at least that's what they tell me, I'm cancer free. Those cancer cells are probably floating around there in there somewhere, and they're waiting to have something trigger it. That's what I believe. I don't know. What about you, Anthony?
I always feel whether we have cancer or not. I mean, of course, if we have cancer, we have cancer. But the people that don't have it diagnosed, I 100% agree. It's right there on the back door waiting for you to screw up your metabolic health. And then there's cancer or diabetes or whatever, Crohn's, you know, just waiting for us to screw up. And to reflect back for about 10 minutes ago in your comment, you know, is cancer getting more widespread, you know, in today's world? Look at how our foods became in the last 30 years or in the last 10 years or the last 20 years. It's no wonder why our sickness has gone through the roof, because we're not eating true food anymore, and we're not actually working on ourselves anymore.
Absolutely. And you know what? Just before I read the next thing on the screen here, I'll pull that away for 1 second. From my experience, when I first got diagnosed, I wanted to have surgery. I wanted everything ripped out. I wanted my tumor. I wanted my colon ripped out. I wanted my liver ripped out. I wanted everything taken out of me. I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing now. And I'm fortunate to be doing what I'm doing now. And I don't know if I want it ripped out, because everybody that I know that had surgery, I know you had surgery, Anthony, but you're approaching it the right way now.
Yeah,
Right?
I wish I didn't do surgery, honestly.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Because anybody that had surgery, that from my experience, anybody I come across, the cancer comes back. I actually have a real good friend that had a real crazy surgery. It's called high-pec surgery, where they take all the organs out on the table. It's like an 18-hour surgery. They pour hot chemo on it. Okay, they put it back in. It's supposed to be good for 5 years. The cancer's back again. Okay, and that's one of the high-end surgeries where they're supposed to really, get everything, right? But it happens. So that's why this lifestyle, you're getting a second chance in life. All right. So, I'm not going to mess up. I'm definitely not going to. I know I already messed up once when I went to Italy, but I thought I was on a different planet, and I learned my lesson from that one. Okay. When I get rid of cancer, I love ribeye so much. I'm sticking to it for sure.
To go on to that real quick. Hold on. We'll come back to that. I'll write down my question so I can actually get it proper. Hold on a second. Go on to the next one.
Sounds good. Homesick Buckeye. This is a good friend to Kerry and I, eh?
Russ,
I love Russ. Shout out to my brothers. Keep on rocking, Jeff. So happy for your success. Thanks for the little tip. That goes straight into Peter's bank account. I think I'm stressing him out tonight because I got this little thing going. I tap the table when I want the next question on. So Peter deserves that $5 tonight. Thanks, Homesick Buckeye. I love listening to this guy. He's hilarious. He does the keto cookout. He used to do it with Adam Lacey. Now he does it with, I think, a few other people. Keep making us laugh, Homesick Buckeye. Thank you very much, Russ.
Russ is awesome. I got to meet him in Austin in person. It was great.
Oh, here we go. Miss Black. Jeff, have you had any surgery on your liver? Oh, I guess that we already tackled this. What is your take on having surgery and cancer spreading? I guess I covered that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that question, but there you go, Miss Black. You know what? And you know what? I've had this conversation with my best friend, Dwight, as well. And he believes that I can keep shrinking it. And he says, hey, maybe they can go in laparoscopically, take half your liver out, take out the colon tumor, what's left of it, and then with your carnivore diet and your lifestyle, you'll be in the clear. That's what Dwight is very optimistic in that, and that's what he's thinking. So maybe I will someday, but they call me inoperable. They say I can't have surgery right now, and I'm happy with what I'm doing. By the way, guys, I have a scan coming up in a few days. It is what it's 2 months ago. I had that really good news where I had drastic shrinkage, and I shared that with Kerry. And Kerry was it was actually on May 30th, 31st. I got the news, and you were away in Austin, and I think you shared that with the doctors, and you sent me some nice videos. It was really nice. And by the way, all those doctors, I don't know. I gotta reach out to Dr. Kiltz because I did a call with him once months ago, and he was amazing. And then Kerry sent me a really nice video from Dr. Kiltz, just a really good inspirational, motivational video addressed to me. So Dr. Kiltz, if you're listening, I just want to give him a shout out. I'll probably reach out to him soon again. Next one, Peter. Sorry, I didn't do the tap. Kerry, again, how should my meal plan be if I'm skinny and on carnivore?
I would just make it the same. Ribeyes, eat meat, beef, butter, bacon, eggs. I mean, see how you feel. Of course, a lot of people always ask me, like, tell me exactly what you're eating. And I always say, why does that matter? Because what I ate when I was heavier is different than what I eat now that I've lost most of my weight. It really depends on you and your body and how you're feeling. So I would just stick to a standard carnivore diet. I tend to do better on ruminant animals, beef and salt versus chicken. But I would really listen to your body, test it out, and see how you feel. And if you're not feeling great, maybe try sticking more to the ruminant animals, beef, salt, and water sort of deal.
Absolutely. I would just add more fat in too, right?
Yeah.
Add more fat as much as possible.
It's all about the fat.
For sure.
Yeah, and if you don't want to be skinny, go to the gym more.
Absolutely. And
that's healthy weight to put on, you know, because it's
and-
bone density, it's muscle density, you know, it's if you're hydrating right, you're getting muscle weight too, because your muscles are getting bigger in water and everything else.
Well, it's easier to experience hypertrophy, to build those muscles, because you're eating all that meat, right?
Yeah.
So you have all that protein and those amino acids that you're using to build those muscles for sure. Next one. Here we are. Jeff, are you fasting for the scan? I will keep you in my prayers. That the scan shows great news. Yes, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm gonna fast. Yeah, I'm probably gonna fast a day or two before. Yes, I am. My fasting, I'll be honest with you, I just want to tell everybody, since I got back from Italy and switched chemo treatments, instead of 5 days, I've been doing mostly 3 days, because I have these stupid antibiotics I got to take, or else I break out in a rash because of this new chemo regimen that I'm on. My fasts haven't been what I want it to be, but I had good results. Like 2 months ago, I still had a good scan. And in a couple of days, if I don't have a good scan, it is what it is. I'm just going to reset. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to maybe do a longer fast, maybe add the hyperbaric oxygen treatment a little bit more, because I'm only going 2 days a week. But anyways, next. This Savion, he's been adding a lot in here. Thanks to the others for being inspirational to me as well. Yes, for sure. Hey, Anthony, you got your question?
Yes, sir. Actually, I got a couple of them written down. Want to reflect back, 10 so minutes ago about people reaching out to me, through you or through Kerry or through Dave. I had a guy reach out to me yesterday. This is like my second or third time talking to him, and he asked me a question which made me think for a minute. And I actually had to wait a couple hours before I responded to him, because his question he asked me was, if I knew what I knew now with my information, would I go through all the same misery I went through, or would I just go straight to the coach? And, it took me a couple hours to think about it. And I told him, if I could retain every piece of information I know at today's date and start back over on the day I knew I had a tumor, I would 100% not done surgery, 100% not done chemo, and I would have just tried the metabolic approach first to see what would happen. Because once you lose a body part, you can't get it back. And I think I made that comment with Kerry's interview with my gallbladder. If I would have known what I knew back then, I would have never had to pull my gallbladder. And
Anthony, just to expand on that, I agree with you. I just want to say, if I know what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have started chemo. People keep asking me, Jeff, when you get off chemo? See, the problem was I went into chemo not really knowing this. Like, I think Dwight was sending me that first video and teaching me about carnivore and fasting. I was already into my first round of chemo, and I was on the standard American diet, and I did about 3 rounds before I started listening to Dwight's advice, right? And then I started having success with chemo with my regimen, like you mentioned before, Anthony. So it's kind of hard for me to, say no to chemo right now. I think eventually I will, right? But just like you said, if I knew what I knew right now, I probably wouldn't have started it for sure.
Yeah, well, in your defense, in my defense right now, it's kind of hard to stop what's working, You're having success with carnivore and chemo, and I'm having success with carnivore. So why would I stop, or why would you stop what's working?
Yeah, absolutely.
We tell it fails before we change. And my my other question was, surgery and making cancer spread. I actually just got into this topic yesterday with somebody else about like meat and tenderizing. It's kind of an odd subject, but it's like you go to Costco or anywhere and you got nice prime cuts of meat, like ribeyes or tenderloins, but they're taking that stuff and retaking that tender meat and taking it to a tenderizer already. And what that tenderizer does is shoves, that metal down into the meat, which actually pushes the bacteria deeper into the meat. Then you have to cook the meat higher or longer to cook the bacteria out of it. So you're taking, something that should have been cooked up well done or rare. Now you got to cook it, overcook it, and all the bacteria to cook the bacteria out of it so you can eat it safely. Well, with cancer and surgeries, in my opinion, from what I've understood, the moment you flay somebody open, you're unleashing the sac of the protection around the cancer, and that's why it wants to, you know, go like a wildfire, because you poke the bear with it instantly by cutting it open.
Absolutely. That's a great analogy, Anthony. And it reminds me, this week I listened to your interview, Kerry and Anthony, that you guys had, and your analogies that you were using this week are awesome. Can you just let everybody know that the one thing about the car and the fuel, and can you repeat that here?
If you want me to try to repeat it, I don't know if I get it word for word.
No,
but the human body,
the
human bodies is like an engine, you know. There's multiple engines, multiple fuel sources, but only one's gonna get the best performance out of your body, so to speak. No, so with the car, you take a diesel, you put it in the car, in a gasoline car, it's not going to run. You take, you know, a diesel truck, you put gasoline in that truck, it's not going to run. You put the right fuel though in that right vehicle, it's going to run really good. If you want to get into terms too far as like high performance vehicles and high performance bodies, you take regular fuel, you know, 87 octane, and you put it in a dragster to go down the track. But you take that same dragster that's capable of, you know, 3,000 plus horsepower, and you put top fuel and nitro to it, it's going to, you know, have all that power right there with it. And it's going to be a clean burn versus a diluted burn. And our bodies run off of nutrients, not off of calories.
Absolutely. That was a better analogy than you did on Kerry's interview.
I'm getting better at it.
Absolutely. That was really good. Any more questions, Peter, that you want to bring up? Are you and Kerry going to do another cold plunge when he comes back to film you again? Get Adam in there too. Absolutely. We'll do a cold plunge. And you know what? Maybe we'll go even a little bit more extreme, and we'll do one like in a creek or a pond or something. I think Dwight's got a pond in his backyard that we could probably do one in.
Let's go.
Sure.
Adam's got to go for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, Miss Black, Jeff, you fast a lot. How do you maintain weight? I'm keto carnivore. I fast 7 to 8 days each month, not any treatment stage 4 inoperable, but it has been an effort to regain what I lose. I just want to read this one more time. I fast 7 to 8 days each month. Yeah, you know what? When I was fasting a lot, and I still am fasting, but like Kerry talks about, I did about 43 5-day fasts in a row every other week. I probably at weigh-in, I probably would be only 2 pounds lighter than I was at the end of the week, 2 or 3 pounds lighter. And I found that my body just got to the weight that I naturally was supposed to be at. Maybe you're not at the weight you're naturally supposed to be at. Maybe you need to be a little bit lighter. If you find like you're losing too much weight, I would just say you gotta eat as much as you can on carnivore or keto, and you gotta eat as much fat as possible. And fat is going to be your energy source. It's going to help you build muscle, and exercise, just like Anthony said, it's going to give you the energy. And maybe you do need to work out. And that's another thing that Dwight speaks about all the time, is the fact that being carnivore, you say you're keto/carnivore. Being carnivore gives you that energy and ability to exercise and work out. And then the protein that you're getting allows you to build those muscles, right? So that you're building your immune system. You got to get your immune system high, right? So that you're not going to lose weight. So I would just try to eat as much as you can. Make sure your electrolytes are up. Maybe you got to take some electrolytes when you're fasting as well, so that you're not withering away. Because you can still exercise actually while you're fasting and keep gaining muscle mass even though you're fasting, right? So that was the key. Oh, I see. Speak of my good friend. Hello, Mr. Garlow. He's on. Good evening, fellows. Dwight's he should probably be sleeping, and so should I. He normally keeps track of how much I'm sleeping, and he gives me he shakes his finger at me when I'm not in bed. So Dwight, I think we're going to be going to bed soon. Peter, any more? A few more Jeff, do you do sprints? Okay, that's a good one. Read somewhere high intensity can spread the cancer. Oh, that's not a good one. I'm fighting ovarian cancer now, but now confused about high intensity exercise. Thoughts from anyone? Yeah, I was doing sprints. I was walking laps in the wintertime of this indoor track, and I was sprinting one side of the track. Yeah, I can understand that where you're coming from, the high intensity, because you're really probably spiking your cortisol, and it may grow the cancer. I'm not too sure about that. That's why I find, doing something like the stairs right now is a perfect exercise for me, because it elevates my heart rate and it helps me build my muscles at the same time. And it's not, and just walking the stairs, it's not as high intensity like sprints. But that's a good thing to look into. Maybe you can I would just kind of monitor, like, see how much of a glucose spike maybe you get from your high intensity sprints. Maybe wear a glucose monitor and check it out, because everyone's probably going to be a little bit different on that one. Next, Peter. Well, another $5 thank you. 23 days in, and he's lost 22 pounds. That's amazing. I'm so excited about this journey. Cheers to you all. Keep it up, everyone. Thank you. Okay, guys, we've been on this is longer than I thought, like an hour and 20 something minutes. This has been fabulous. You guys are my YouTube best friends. You're my battle bestie, Anthony. Kerry's my YouTube best friend. Guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have done so much for me on my journey. Anything you guys want to add in to everybody else that's listening before we say goodnight?
I just want to say likewise, thank you so much for having me, and you've meant so much to me as well, Jeff. And what you said in that email, you want to be a part of what your doctors are doing. It's incredible what you're doing now. You mentioned that cancer roundtable video we did. We never would have done that if you didn't approach me. That's got like 800,000 views and it's given so many people hope. You can't
Absolutely.
even measure how many people are getting hope from your story, Jeff. So, and you too, Anthony. I appreciate you both. I really appreciate you having me on.
I'm going to have to step up my game and get a YouTube channel so I could get my knowledge spread out like you guys are.
I think you should, Anthony.
I'm all a part, being your guys' guest when the opportunity comes. That, I'll never turn down that opportunity, but I definitely need to step up my game and, get my own channel going so I could continue to get, this amazing information out there for everybody.
I agree.
And as much as this next part kind of sucks for me to say, because I don't want to promote any way of eating, but it doesn't matter what way of eating you're on, exercise is important. A body in motion stays in motion, so you need a walk, strength train, whatever you could do within your limitations, but one step in front of the other.
Absolutely. Dwight just added one more thing in. He wants more round tables. I agree.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I agree. The more the merrier, Dwight, for sure. Okay, guys, thank you. Maybe next week I might be doing another live. I got to check my schedule, but I think my next one coming up is with my Wim Hof instructor, Dominic, and he's going to be talking about Wim Hof breathing and cold plunge and saunas, because we do all three of those things when I'm with him. So that will be a good one. We're supposed to all get in a cold plunge at home and film ourselves while we're on with him, but I don't know if that's going to be easy to do.
Mine's almost done being built. I got an electrician helping me do the final wiring as we speak, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can finish mine. I hope.
Nice. I might just go to Dwight's house and jump in his back pond. I'm sure he'll let me do that, and he can film me, and I'll be live.
Nice.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Guys.
Have a good night. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.